Motors and Meats here. We're back for another Porsche basic maintenance video, and in this episode we're back on the 997.2 and we're dealing with the brake pads. There's not many things that are easier to do yourself. That's a pretty significant thing that you can do on a 997 or any 911. These things come equipped with Brembo brakes, which means they are very easy to swap the pads out on. Trust me, I just did the pads on my wife's Volvo XC90. I also did the pads on my friend's Jeep, and nothing could be easier in that realm than doing them on a Porsche because of those Brembo brakes. So let's get everything together and we'll jump right in. So really there's only a few basic hand tools that you need to do this job. You do need a jack, of course. Some of these ramps would help if your car's been lowered to be able to get the jack underneath it, and a jack stand for safety. Next up would be a star or some other kind of 19mm wrench to take the lug bolts out with. Then you need a couple of screwdrivers. I use one that's kind of destroyed just as a punch, so you could use an actual long narrow punch if you have one instead. Brake grease to keep things from squealing when you put the new pads on. Of course you need the new pads themselves. And you need a set of pliers, a rag, and a mallet. I've got both a rubber mallet and a 2-pound mallet just in case. I've already jacked up the car and I've already broken the bolts loose, so now we just need to spin these things off. There's a rod that runs from here all the way back to the back side, and you can see there's a cotter pin right here. First thing we want to do is pop that cotter pin off and keep it safe. I always like to keep a finger on the back side of it so it doesn't fly away. And next we want to punch this out. This is my ruined screwdriver, and I like it because it's super narrow compared to like a regular punch. This piece right here is pretty spring loaded, so once this thing gets past the end of that, that spring is going to release and it's going to come on out easily. And if you have somebody else with a spare set of hands that wants to press down on this while you're doing it, that could release some of that pressure. But I don't have that, so I'm just going to bang away. Before you finish, be sure not to send it flying back out into the engine bay because it's pretty loose at the back. You might actually can just pull it out. Yep, there we go. Now, your brake wear indicator wire is clipped in right here underneath the bottom side of this spring-loaded clip. So we can take that loose just by pushing it down, and it should come out of there. And if you need to do it after the fact, you certainly can. Let's just do that. Let's go ahead and pull that spring loose to give us some more wiggle room. Your brake wear indicators are going to be tucked into the edges of those brake pads. You can either pull them out now or you can pull them out after you get the pads loose. I want to pull them out after I get the pads loose so that I have a little bit easier access to them. So the idea is that you're going to clamp here and squeeze. But we don't want to damage our pretty red brake caliper, so we're going to place our rag in here in between and then grab the back side of that caliper and then just squeeze, and that's going to press the brake fluid back into the reservoir and allow plenty of space to get these pads out. So do that on both sides. You can see it's already loose. We'll do it over here. They make a special tool for doing this. I just totally do not see the point of it because this does the job just perfectly. Now these will come right out. That one's out. And then I'm going to pry that out with a flathead screwdriver. There we go. And you can see how worn this pad is now. It's down pretty far, actually. Compared to a brand new pad, you can see how much more thickness the new pad has. So let's go and get this other one out. Sometimes the back side of the caliper piston will get stuck to the pad, so we're just going to pry that loose with a screwdriver. There, so not too big a deal. And now we'll pop this out again, just like the first one. Just pry up gently. almost, and out it comes. All that's left to do is put everything back together again. We're going to start out by putting a little bit of grease onto the back side of our brake pads. You definitely don't want any grease to go on the front side because then your car wouldn't stop right. But on this back plate right here, put a little grease on there like that. And then also I like to put some where that pin goes through. And then right here as well, same thing on the back side of this one. And make sure you drop it in the right way because of that reason I just said. You don't want to get grease onto your calipers. So make sure the abrasive side is facing the caliper itself. That's just going to drop in like that. And then our brake wear indicator is going to just plug right into that. A lot of people like to replace these every time they do their brake pads. And I guess that's a good reason to do it right there because sometimes those clips will break. And this is a pretty cheap part that you can get anywhere that you can buy your brake pads. So in the meantime, I'm just going to zip tie that out of the way until I get a new set. On to the other pad. We'll add our grease. And it's ready to drop in as well. Oh, one other good point right there. So sometimes the calipers will ease back out. So you can take an old brake pad that has less meat on it, it's less thick, slide it back into place, and then get your rag out again and your pliers out again, and use that to squeeze that piston back in. Now we should be good. Back to the new pad, and it slides right back into place. So reversing the process here, we've got our pin. Now on your cotter pin, you want to make sure that you know where your hole is, because if you don't, you're going to have to pull it back out and align it, because if it gets turned to a way that you can't put the cotter pin in, then you got to start over on that part. Anyway, get that started, but either way, we're just going to set that on top. We're going to have to apply some pressure on it to get it down enough for this to get started. There. And once that is down enough that this thing can be pushed up over it, then it's not that big a deal. You can either keep pressing if you have your extra set of hands, or you can get a mallet. And in this case, the regular 2-pound hammer seems to work best on that. The rubber mallet's not going to press enough. There we go. And cotter pin goes back in like that. This one would snap in here, and then this wire would get clipped in back underneath there, and then you would be done with this side. Now everybody knows that your Porsche crest is supposed to point at the valve stem, so if you've got the opportunity to fix that, I would highly recommend it. Pop it out to the back side, rotate it around, and get that thing pointing at it the way a proper Porsche should be. Doing the front is almost 100% identical to doing the rear. It's just that those wear indicators are a little bit different shape, and I'll show you that now. But if you haven't subscribed already, I'd really appreciate it if you did. I'm always posting content about the 997, about the 944, and I've got a lot of old content on my previous 996 and off-roader Cayenne. See that this spring is a lot springier than the last one too. So once you get it past there, it's going to be easier to go underneath. So for the only other difference that I know of is the shape of this wear indicator. I'm going to flip it over to the pad surface side, and I'm going to pry up against this piece right here. There you go. we've worn this pad all the way down to just before it was touching the wear sensor. So it wouldn't be much longer until the car was actually for real telling me that it's time to change these pads. Maybe give these tabs on the back here just a little squish with your flathead screwdriver to give you a little bit easier time of prying this side up. There we go, pops right out that time. And reverse the process. New pads here compared to the old pads. What do you think? Oh yeah. And if you were wondering if they're symmetrical or mirror images, they're basically identical one to another. You can see they both have the indentation where the wear indicator is going to go on the same side, so it doesn't matter which one you put on the inside and which one you put on the outside. Sometimes you get lucky like that. I don't know if you just saw that, but you can use both thumbs to press this in, and then that bolt will just slide right through there. Nothing left but our cotter pin, and this side is done.
Break it down, take a walk, have a drink, take your coffee, out the day, take your time, never go to work.
Now, one very important thing that you cannot forget to do, and that is before you drive your car off, you need to pump up the brake, because remember, you just squeezed all of that fluid back into those lines. Those brake pads are loose in there, so you need to pump up the brake pedal, and that's going to put all of that fluid pressure back behind those calipers, and then you'll be able to drive safely. You'll notice whenever you get in the car, you'll put your foot down and it'll go basically to the floor, but that's okay. Just pump it up a couple times, it'll be back to normal. That's it for another episode of the Porsche Basic Maintenance Series. The 997.2's got brand new brake pads on it now, looking for a lot better performance out of those. And the next thing up is going to be the top hats on these. They needed to be replaced whenever I did my lowering springs, but I didn't do it because I didn't know for sure that they needed it and I didn't have them on hand. Anyway, long story short, we get to do that next. So stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, and I appreciate you guys watching.
We cannot think about